On this episode of System Integrators Weekly, we're going to compare several systems at every price point. If you're looking for a PC, this is the video for you. All that and more on this episode of SI Weekly.
Let's go, nerds!
Hello everyone, I'm Brea Thorne. Welcome to SI Weekly, where we take a look at system integrators who build pre-built PCs with off-the-shelf components and find out which one might be right for you. If you're shopping for a pre-built PC, this is the video, this is the channel, I'm the guy. What we're doing today is something I used to do every month, and I'm going to get back to that. We're taking a look at several systems at each major price point, and here are the targets we're going to try to hit. We're looking at systems under $1,000, around $1,500, around $2,000, and then $3,000 and up. And it's just kind of all over the place. So yeah, stay tuned. And if you're at a certain price point, if you take a look in the description, there are timestamps that will help you navigate the video. And you can find out, you can skip my lovely self just talking to you and go right to where I'm talking about the systems that might be right for you. So one quick note, if you're wanting to wait for Intel 14th gen, which is going to drop at some point in October, which it is now October, then one note that I would have for you is that the difference between 13th gen Intel and 14th gen Intel is pretty minimal unless you're specifically looking for the i7. The 14700K is going to have more efficiency cores. That's the only major change happening. It's pretty much a refresh. So it's going to be the same socket, LGA 1700, all of that. So anything we're looking at that's going to be 13th gen, it's going to be within about a 3% performance difference between 13th gen and 14th gen. That's information coming from Intel, except for with the i7 14700K. So if you're in the, above $2,000 range, or, $1,800-$1,900 maybe, depending on how you're going to be, building it or who you're going to get it from, you may want to hold off on that, but it's honestly not a huge deal, IMO. I do need to let you know this video is sponsored by VIP CDK Deals.
The best place to go when you want to get yourself an OEM Windows license to get rid of that annoying watermark and unlock all the customization Windows has to offer. So instead of paying well over $100 for a retail version of Windows, you can get an OEM key for a fraction of the price. Plus, you can use my code BRAE25 to get a nice fat discount off of the already discounted price. Keep in mind that this is an OEM key that gets attached to this system and cannot be used with another one or if you change your hardware. Make sure you get the right key for your operating system. For more information on how to use CDK Deals, click the link in the description saying here's how it works, and I'll walk you through the whole thing. Thank you, CDK Deals, for continuing to support the channel.
Now, before we get into this, I got a few important disclaimers. Any pricing and availability that you see or hear about in this video is subject to change, and pretty quickly sometimes, because what we're going to be looking at is a few things that are on sale. At the end of the video, I have a thing that takes you to the most recent content. Next thing is you're going to hear opinions. I'm going to say what I think is good and what I think is not that good. Is that going to be exactly right for you? Not necessarily. Are you going to maybe disagree with me? Sure, why not? Leave me a nice friendly comment saying that I'm wrong and telling me why I'm wrong. I mean, you can't just say I'm wrong. You got to explain why. Those opinions are subjective to me, though they are formed over many years of experience with building, fixing, and just being obsessed with PCs. I've been at this for over 20 years. The final thing is, with all that in mind, none of this is financial advice. I'm just saying what I see on the screen. I'm scrutinizing SIs. I'm maybe saying where they can improve things, all to the benefit of you, the consumer. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the under $1,000 systems. You can't talk about a sub $1,000 system without talking about the Auxilia. I've talked a ton about Alexander PCs. You guys know that. If you want to know more about them, you can always just go to YouTube and search Alexander PCs, Brea Thorne, and there's a lot of videos where I talk about them because of the feedback that we get from their customers in our community. And this thing is an absolute bargain when it comes down to the build quality being taken into consideration, custom cables being added in, the fact that they're using something like a tower cooler rather than just, stock cooler with the 12100F, which is a great gaming CPU. If you're just looking for some 1080p gaming, your budget's under $1,000, this is a great option for you. By the way, apparently TJ, the owner of Alexander PCs, has told me, because of me, allegedly, because of me, their usage of purple cable extensions skyrocketed over the last, I don't know, year and a half, whatever. And I am not sorry. Now you might be saying like, Bray, this says $1,048. That's because I did upgrades on it. So it starts out with 16 gigs of DDR4 3600 and a 1TB Kingston NV2 M.2 drive. And that's at $948. And if you use code BRAE, that's BRAE, you get $50 off any system on the site. That means this thing is under $900. Now, the really cool thing about this system is you can go to 32 gigs of RAM and 2 terabytes of storage, making it $1,048. And if you take out that $50 with code BRAE, B-R-A-E, you're under $1,000 with 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes of the Kingston NV2 storage, which is a Gen 4 drive. It's on the slower side of Gen 4, but that's just your sequential read-write speeds. They don't mention random read-write speeds, which will benefit from the Gen 4 PCIe interface on there. So they also will tell you the reason they picked every single component in this system. It's very cool. And if you want to see how much it would cost you to build it yourself, just click this link right here. But you've got a 12100F, a Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX 6600, which is a great 1080p gaming card. You know, Kingston Fury Renegade RGB RAM, not just the cheapest RAM possible. Instead, very good RAM, DDR4 3600 CL16. So high frequency, low latency, very good DDR4 right there. Power supply, 500 watt, 80 plus bronze, and deep cool CH370 on the case, so high airflow. And the CPU cooler is a Thermalright Assassin X Refined Special Edition ARGB. It's really, it's like there's attention paid to every component here. Now, what are we gonna put up against the Auxilia? Well, we're gonna take a look at our buddies over at Phynix PC. And the system in question is going to be the Harpy, which starts out at $879 before the discount you get with code Braethorn. Now, I want to make a quick note here about what we've called for a long time now. If you're new here, it's something called Operation Code Braethorn. The name doesn't really make sense anymore because some of the codes have had to change. The idea originally was that for system integrators that we get good feedback on, we would then get a discount code with them, and as many of those as possible. So as we're compiling a list of SIs that are trustworthy, you're also going to know that, hey, I can just go there, whatever the sale, whatever seasonal sales going on, whatever. I go in there, I put Braethorn in there, and I'm going to get a discount. That was the goal, because there's just so many sales that I cover in a video that then disappear. I wanted to make sure you could at least get some kind of discount. And it also is a great way to support the channel. You get a discount, and you get to support the channel, and I get to keep helping people with PCs. It really is a win-win situation. And yeah, Phynix PCs is a part of that. And with them, you would use code Braethorn, the full name. There you go. By the way, I don't really mention merch very much, but it's the new I made this new design. Got our buddy RGB on there. I hope you like it. A word about Phynix PC, a group of awesome builders that I've known for a while actually, and they actually stream every build on Twitch. Twitch.tv/PhynixPC, right there. There you go. But yeah, they do customer builds on their Twitch streams. This is the Harpy. Since they first came out with these, they have upgraded the cases on many of these systems. But here's the base configuration that you're getting for $879. Some of it will sound familiar. 12100F, RX 6600, 16 gigs of DDR4 3600. Now it is a little bit higher latency at CL18. Kingston NV2, 1 terabyte, same thing there. 650 watt power supply though, above the 500 watt power supply you're getting with the Alexander PC system. And the case is the Vetru M03 MATX case. That means this is an MATX motherboard in an MATX case. That's how it should be done right there. The thing is, you're not just limited to getting it how it is there. Tons of SIs will let you customize, but I kind of like the way that Phynix does this because it walks you through every step of the way. You start right here and you pick a color. In white, you pick your operating system. Going Intel, I definitely recommend Windows 11. And then you pick your default or upgrade your CPU if you want. You choose a cooler. Vetru V5 for the 12100F is totally fine. DDR4, This is going to be the core build that they have here. RX 6600, same 1 terabyte drive that it already comes with. No extra drive, no extra drive. Look at this. You can add a secondary and tertiary M.2 drive, which I think they just have it that way because they wanted to put the word tertiary. Well, actually, this isn't another M.2 drive. Would be a SATA SSD, probably a limitation of the MATX motherboard. But you could have 4 terabytes of PCIe 4.0 M.2 drives and then a 2 terabyte SATA drive, giving you 6 terabytes in your system if you wanted to. And a 650 watt power supply. There you go. You can add an additional RGB fan to the front, or you can add 3 more RGB fans to have 2 added to the top for exhaust and an additional intake fan on the front. Our warranty here should be 2 years. Yeah, 2 years for both labor and parts, beginning from the date of the original purchase. They tell you right when you look at a system, current lead time, 10 to 14 business days. It's because they have to schedule you in for the stream and everything, a week and a half to 2 weeks, and you're in there. Now, the difficulty here is that we have a third contender for the sub $1,000. So far, we've looked at a system where you get premium build quality, cable extensions of any color choice that you want. Of course, you want purple because it's the best color. So you're looking at nearly a boutique experience because it is a boutique builder, selling a budget system. And then you have the Harpy here, which is a unique experience. And now, by the way, with Alexander PCs, you can request that your system be built on stream. They do that, but they don't do that for every build. This is core to Phynix PC's whole business, is that they stream every build. Plus, you're getting more upgradability on this system. And then you got Skytech coming in, and this is the Nebula. As you can see, all 3 of these systems have high airflow. Here's the thing though. This is a 12400F. It's apparently a full ATX B660, whereas both of the other systems had MATX motherboards. A little bit more expandability here. 16 gigs DDR4 3200. DDR4 is not expensive. They could have gone 36, but hey. And then a Radeon RX 6600, same GPU, one of the best price to performance GPUs you can get right now for 1080p gaming. A 1 terabyte M.2 drive, 600 watt power supply, so right between Alexander PCs and Phynix. Both of those systems have Wi-Fi 6, whereas this has Wi-Fi 5. Other than that, it's a contender, $889 before the discount you get with code SWARM, SWARM. So you heard that right. Every one of these systems is under $1,000, and you can get it even lower with a code that we have for you. You see Operation Code Braithorn in action. And if you want to see all the codes we have available, go to the Discord, which is linked in the description below, and go to the coupon codes channel. And you'll see all of them listed there with nice graphics that our editor, Mr. Cuddles, makes for us. So thank you, Mr. Cuddles, also for pretty much running the Discord. Appreciate you, Alucard, all the techies, all you guys. You're amazing. Thank you. You basically got 3 very good options here. So you basically need to decide which one is more suitable for you. Now, if we take a look at this, if you're in a bit of a hurry, the Nebula is going to be for you. Ships in 3 to 5 business days, as you can see right here, plus 1 to 6 days for UPS ground delivery. It ships out in 3 to 5 business days, and then it is being shipped to you. So that takes time as well. That's with all these places. They'll tell you current lead time, 10 to 14 business days. They can't really add the shipping time, like the amount of time it takes to get to you, into that because they don't know where you live. And then for Alexander PCs, if you get one of these, it's going to be an estimated shipping date when it ships out from them of October 13th, 2023. Whoever's watching this, you might say, well, I don't mind waiting. I like the idea of picking my cables. I like these Alexander PCs, guys. I want to get that lifetime warranty. I've heard good things. Or you might be like, hey, Phynix PC, awesome. These guys sound really cool. I want to watch my PC being built. And, they do it all the time. So like, that's their whole thing. Or you're in a hurry and you're like, you know what? Nebula's got good airflow. It's got all the features I need. I'm just going to get this $889 before the discount you get with code SWARM, SWARM. They're all 3 good deals. You just got to decide which one's right for you. We're going to go ahead and move on to the about $1,500 range, give or take. And we have a couple really good options here. 2 very good options. One of them is also Phynix PC. And I have one of these ready for an unboxing and review live on stream on Thursday the 5th. Come back to the channel, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss it. If you're curious about one of these, you want to see what they look like, come on by. It's going to be at around 8 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to put it through the paces and make sure the cooling is up to snuff. But what do you get with the Siren? So this thing has had a glow up for sure, because it went from a Montec case, which was a really nice Montec case, okay, the Air 1000 Premium, but they moved up to the Lean Elite Landcool 216 right here, 12400F, and you're getting the Vetru V5 air cooler, tried and tested. Here's the thing, and this is the thing that I love about my job. If I see something I don't like, I get to cry about it. So when I saw that they had a full ATX case with an MATX motherboard, it would be the same situation here with a 216. Well, now you can choose a full ATX motherboard. But here's the cool thing. Default is 32 gigs of RAM, Kingston NV2 1TB Gen 4 drive, and an RTX 3060 Ti. Yes, you have choices to go with a higher end GPU if you want, but the 3060 Ti is still a banger. And an 850 watt 80 plus gold power supply. And the standard price on this thing, $1279 with the specs I just told you. Standard price is $1279 for a 1200F 3060 Ti, 32 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of Gen 4 storage, 850 watt power supply, in a LAN-cooled 216. How could that get any better? I'll show you. 13600K, I forgot to do this. I would say the 240 would be a good idea, at least on this. Stick with DDR4, totally fine, keeps the price down. Here's the part where you choose your motherboard. The motherboard they went with for the full ATX option is a Z series motherboard, a Z690. Meaning if you get something like a 13600K or 13700K, it can actually utilize the sort of traditional overclocking option right there. And it's a good motherboard too. 32 gigs DDR4, totally fine. You could even go 64 gigs if you want. And if you stick with a 3060 Ti, it's, you know, it's still going to be a banger. Still going to be able to do 1440p gaming all day long. Now your OS drive, you choose that here. And we're going to go with the standard one. And you have $1589 before discount on a very, very solid system. Okay. Now, what is this thing up against? I'm glad you asked. This is going to be from iBUYPOWER. This is direct from iBUYPOWER, which is generally how I recommend you get your systems. But what are we looking at here? This is not a proprietary iBUYPOWER case. No, no, no. This is this is a Fractal Pop Air. And this system is the Ready Fractal Row 1. But this system is crazy, okay? For $1649, and remember I said around $1,500, you're looking at a Ryzen 7 7700X and a Radeon RX 6950 XT, the absolute top GPU from the previous generation. The 6950 XT is a rasterized graphics creating monster. I mean, it's absolutely beastly. Yes, the 7900 XTX leaves it in the dust. It also costs twice as much right now. So this is an awesome deal, but it doesn't stop there, okay? You're getting 32 gigs of DDR5, 5600 mega transfers per second. iBUYPOWER, you have got to learn your Ryzen sweet spots, all right? Like, Ryzen's very, very particular about RAM when it comes to getting optimal performance. It was 6,000 mega transfers per second until the most recent AGISA was sent out, and then it became 6,400, which is super annoying. 5,600, where did that come from? Right out of left field. Doesn't matter, the system's still awesome. Aside from that, you're looking at a 2 terabyte M.2 drive off the bat right there, a 240 millimeter RGB AIO, and you actually have room in this system here to add fans in the top as exhaust. This thing is a beast. One thing about this, first off, this system would ship super fast. We're talking about 3 or 4 days. Another thing though, the graphics card does ship uninstalled. It's gonna be in the box. So you have to install the GPU yourself, which is one of the easiest things to do to a computer. So we looked at the Siren and the Ready Fractal Row 1, all right? Both of these, amazing options, okay? You need something fast, this thing is a clear choice. You want something more flexible than the options you're gonna have, because you can't change anything out in this one. With this one, you have a lot more options. You get to watch it being built on stream, but that means it's 10 to 14 business day lead time, and then they ship it to you. If you're curious about the Siren, come back on Thursday, 8 p.m. Central. We're gonna be taking it out of the box right here on stream. It's gonna be awesome. We're also gonna start a giveaway for it, so. And it's not gonna be given away during that stream. We're gonna launch the giveaway then. It'll be a couple of weeks, and then we'll have a winner. And that is provided by Phynix PC. Thank you guys. You're amazing. Now, we're gonna move on to the around $2,000 mark here. And I want to start this off actually with StinceBuilt. What's up, Stince? How's it going, buddy? The Signature Series Pro is on sale right now. It's down from $23.99 to $21.99. And yes, they're part of Operation Code Braethorn. So we have a discount code. You better believe we do. It takes 55 bucks off the deal right here. First off, StinceBuilt is not like your iBUYPOWER where it's high volume, lots of systems being shipped out. This is a smaller operation, smaller scale, fewer systems being shipped, but that means more attention to detail, all of that. So this, you're looking at a 13600 KF with a Deepcool AK620, which is an awesome looking cooler. I think it's good. Z790 Pro Wi-Fi DDR5, 32 gigs of that, 1 terabyte M.2 drive, and a 4070 Ti. So 13600 KF, 4070 Ti. From what I would consider to be a boutique builder, this is an amazing deal. Lots of attention to detail here. Very, very high quality builds. I've only heard the best things about StinceBuilt. For those of you out there who are just like so proud to let everyone know that you don't like RGB, you don't like lights, you don't like happiness. I'm kidding, it's fine. You wanna go stealth? Look at this. You got a drop down menu right here. No RGB, done. Look at that. Now, I was a little disappointed here because I was like, oh man, Maingear, they got the new Revolt systems. They're working with height here. And because they have just stellar build quality. Like that's one of the things you hear about Maingear. They build things really well. But then I saw something that Maingear tends to do, and they tend to cheap out on the specs here and there. I'm gonna tell you right now, no system over $1,000, much less at 1,500 bucks, should have a 512 M.2 drive. Why are you buying those, Maingear? Have y'all not downloaded a game in the last 3 years? Like Call of Duty is more than half of that drive. I would not do either one of these out of sheer principle, just because that was a bad choice, guys. Now, once you get up to the $2,000 mark, which by the way is around what we're looking at here, you're looking at a 13600K and a 4070. Small form factor build, 32 gigs DDR5, 6000. And yes, a 1 terabyte Gen 4 M.2 drive. So typically ships in 5 to 10 business days. You can upgrade to a 2-year warranty for 99 bucks. That's pretty good. A B760i, okay, Edge Wi-Fi ITX, MSI MPG. Yeah, I said that all out of order. Cooler Master V850 SFX 80 plus Gold. Guess you guys didn't buy the cases with the included 850 watt power supplies. Totally fine. They added RGB case lighting, which doesn't look diffused, unfortunately, which is the thing that Maingear does. But at $2,000, it would be cool to see a 2 terabyte. Storage demands are going up, but the storage you guys are supplying, it isn't. What's the deal? Instead of being in the mindset of people who build PCs every day for a living, where you wouldn't mind upgrading storage, it's the easiest thing in the world. Get yourself in the mindset of your customers who should get a complete product out of the box, ready for modern day usage. Something with a 512 gig drive is not ready for modern day gaming. Modern day gaming is greedy AF when it comes to storage space. Don't relegate them to having to use external storage. Don't make them have to crack this thing open and ruin the nice cable management you probably did, because it's such a nightmare in this case. I know that, I've built in it. Send them a complete system, ready for modern day usage that is competitive in every aspect, including storage. Even though you and I both know storage is easy to upgrade, you have to assume that your customer might never want to open the system, ever. They may never want to, and they never have to. They shouldn't have to, especially if they're paying something like $3,500 and getting a very average, very 1 terabyte drive. Whenever I see something at Maingear like that, I come down hard on it because I genuinely like what Maingear is doing. I like the people over at Maingear, and I see a lot of potential in these drops, because that's what they call these. And it's not just their proprietary Maingear cases. I think it's awesome that y'all are doing that. Fix your specs. That's why I'm extra disappointed when I see that. I want it to be genuinely good. And when I see something that's like a glaring fault in the specs, whoever spec'd that out, they're not thinking fully of the user experience. And that has to be at the forefront of y'all's mind, because it goes beyond just getting the money at the beginning. I know y'all know that. We're gonna move on from this to something that is very out of left field, but I'm digging it. Check this out. We're not even looking at right at $2,000 here. We're looking at under $2,000 at Paradox Customs for a very, very compelling deal here. This is their NZXT H5 Flow configurator, all right? The H5 is a cool case. They went with the Flow. I appreciate y'all for doing that and not going with the Elite. Now, this by default comes with, it's a Ryzen system, but you can switch it to Intel if you want. But I'm gonna say here, stick with this, get the 7600X that it comes with, because we might be seeing some kind of announcement from AMD at CES for what will be coming out in like Q3 of next year. So that's a good amount of time to get some good usage out of the 7600X, which is a good gaming CPU. It's not the top of the heap. That belongs to the 7800X 3D for gaming CPUs. An MSI MAG B650 Tomahawk motherboard, so it's not a bargain bin motherboard. Mainly Galahad 2, so this is the upgraded Galahad. Galahad 2 Trinity Infinity. That is delightful to say. Mushkin Redline, 32 gigs, DDR5 6000. iBUYPOWER, pay attention to that. That is the sweet spot on the previous AGESA for the 7000 series Ryzen processors. Paradox, if you guys are installing the most recent one on that motherboard, you may want to consider making 6400 available. You might have already done that. Nope, I see 6200. Now you can add additional storage if you want, but look, they show you right here. 1 terabyte Redline Vortex LX for 60 bucks. It shows you the price right there. You want to upgrade it? Cool. And then this is my favorite part right here. AMD RX 7800 XT. On what other SI site have we seen that yet? As of the ones I've covered, I'm sure they're out there. But no one else has thought, hey, looks like a good price to performance value. Let me just offer this. If you want, you can upgrade the CPU. Let's do that now. Edit. Let's see what we got for options. 7800X 3D? Sure. And 7800X 3D will make the price around $2,020. What segment are we in? Around 2,000. This is going to be a freaking epic system for $2,000. Now, I would probably upgrade the power supply just to give you some upgradability down the line. 750 watts is good, but not amazing. We'll go 850 watts for, well, that's 60 bucks more. Yeah, let's do it. And let's see what this thing comes out to with my discount code. All right. Okay, coupon code is going to be Brayathorn, apply coupon. 2132 with a 7800X 3D and a 7800 XT. So if you're looking to get in on that absolutely confusing naming that AMD set up for this generation, you got it. Oh, what's in your PC? All of the 7800 stuff, 3D. So yeah, solid job, Paradox. Awesome job. And of course, there are a lot more pre-built configurations you can look at. And if they all have similar values to this, which we'll do a deep dive on Paradox later on. Again, even though we did one probably a couple months ago, when we get a review unit in, we'll do a deep dive which will go into a live stream. I got to say that there's probably some very, very good values here at multiple price points, starting all the way down at $1,235. Now it's time to go to the big builds, to the whales. All y'all whales, pay attention here. Or if you're someone who's just a normal person, but you've been saving for a long time, or you plan on paying for it for a long time. Either way, this section is for you. We're going to be looking at systems that are 2,500 and up, or mostly 3,000 and up, around that price point. Let's see what we got here. And we're going to start it off over there at PowerGPU, and we're going to take a look at the Power series. There is only one system in stock here, and it's right at $3,000. PowerGPU is normally on the boutique side of things. They use really nice cases. They do very meticulous builds, lots of attention to detail, quality over quantity, wonderful builds from those guys. But what we're looking at here is the Deepcool CH510. So this is not going to be like a premium case, but it is a nice case with the Deepcool LS520 240mm AIO, cooling down a 13700K. That's my only comment here. I know these guys tested it, but that's a bit much to ask of that cooler. But this is how they spec'd it, and they wouldn't have these as a pre-configured system if they hadn't tested it thoroughly. All right, 13700K processor, 8 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores, MSI MAG Z790 Tomahawk Wi-Fi, DDR5, yada, 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 yada. Good motherboard, good I/O, Kingston Fury Beast, RGB, 32 gigs, DDR5 6000, Kingston KC 3000, PCIe 4.0. Here we have a $3,000 system that after downloading 4 or 5 larger games, they're going to have to upgrade already. I would say that 2 terabytes at $3,000 is not a huge burden. Upgrade that to a 2 terabyte. And you have RGB fans in black all around the system, plus the ones that come with the AIO, so they should all be matching. And an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080. And they tell you you're going to get an Asus or an MSI card, both solid options right there, and a 1000 watt 80 plus gold rated fully modular power supply. And they'll tell you which brands they use. And Windows 10 Pro, interesting choice considering it's a 13700K. If you get this system as a customer, I would say just do the Windows 11 upgrade. You're leaving a little bit of performance on the table when it comes to the hybrid architecture of 13th gen and 12th gen Intel and upcoming 14th gen. Now these are cool because they ship in 1 to 3 business days from a boutique builder because there's no customization. They just get a bunch of the same parts and they're ready to build, or maybe they have some that are ready to ship. I do think that it's a pretty good deal. Go to any other boutique builder and try to do a system with a 13700K and a 4080 and see if it comes out to $29.99. Let's move on to 2 really good options that are up against this one. The first one might surprise you. It also might not. This is iBUYPOWER here. And this is the creator-ready Y40 BGA 201. This one has a 13900K and a 4090 for $3349. You guys have got to ask yourselves, because you might be like, well, I could have for just like $350 more than the PowerGPU system, I could have a i9 and a 4090. I'm going to tell you right now, most of y'all do not need a 13900K. Like, it's an absolute monster to cool. It's amazing for a content creation machine, for a coding machine, if you're doing things like SolidWorks or any other big programs like that, where you're doing 3D design, all kinds of stuff. And it's very good for gaming. It's also overkill for gaming. And the 4090, a lot of that power is going to be wasted unless you're running a 4K monitor with high refresh rate. Now, you could run 1440p very high refresh rate with a 4090 in most games. Remember this. Well, first off, I've had great reporting from people coming back, community members who have purchased from iBUYPOWER. Maybe they had an issue, got it fixed, and they said it was great. Okay? You have to remember, just because iBUYPOWER does large quantities, large volume, that doesn't mean that the people who are there don't care about what they do. We've met a lot of them. You can watch the tour video right here and see the actual facilities where they test the systems. Because I had someone comment on that video, oh, they don't test their systems. And I just put a timestamp where we walked through the area, massive area dedicated to testing systems. But it is a massive area, meaning they're testing a lot of systems at once. Some things can slip through the cracks. The way it goes, a company like iBUYPOWER selling 600,000 PCs in 2021. That's the number. It was over 600,000 PCs. Even if they had a lower margin of error, right? A lower threshold for problem systems, lower percentage than any other company. Just by virtue of the fact they sold that many systems, they're going to have more problems than anybody else, because they're selling more computers. Just that volume, statistically speaking, of course they are. Let's look at some of the other specs on this system, okay? First off, it's in the really cool looking Y40 case. I know that there's not as much bottom intake in the Y40, so the 4090 is a bit of a concern, but you know, you do have intake from the side here, intake from the bottom, at least 1 or 2 fans there, and then exhaust out of the top. And then coming here, we're gonna look at the more detailed specs here, and they're not, look at this, 2 terabyte Gen 4 SSD, bam. 16 gigs DDR5 6000. Now it is a 13900KF. They saved a little bit of money there, got a little bit more margin there, but that means this is not going to be as good as a video editing machine because it doesn't have the integrated graphics in the CPU that works together with the graphics card when rendering video. That's called QuickSync, and it makes Intel a great platform for video editing. 1000 watt 80 plus gold certified power supply, does not say ATX 3.0 or PCIe 5.0, so there might be an adapter involved with that. Z790 is the motherboard, so you can fully utilize the 13900KF. So you basically need to decide for yourself. Considering this is a ready system, ready to ship system, this would be delivered by Well, 3 to 4 days. What we're going to do is we're going to look at another system that I think might be the best option of all, depending on your needs. Okay? This is from Skytech here. This is the new Prism. You saw the Prism 2. I reviewed that thing. This is the Prism 3 in the all-new case, and we're looking at 13900K and a 4080 for $2799. So this is taking similar specs to the PowerGPU system, but bumping up the CPU for less money. Every company I've talked about, I have a coupon code for, including PowerGPU, which is just Braethorn, Skytech, Swarm, but iBUYPOWER, I still don't have a coupon code for. Now we are looking at slower RAM. That is DDR5 5200. It's unfortunate. With that $200 you save here, you can get yourself another kit of RAM that's faster. There you go. Keep this RAM as backup. Good to go. This, I gotta say, it's a pretty clean case. You can see there's obvious design cues taken from other case manufacturers there. I don't know if this has 2 power buttons. We're gonna find out because one of these just arrived. So after we review the Phynix PC system, we're gonna review the Prism 3. We're gonna do a Skytech-centric video on Monday, which is going to then lead into the live stream where I'm gonna unbox and put this thing through its paces. I'm very curious about one thing, and I'm gonna point out what it is. This looks like your typical dual chamber O11 style case, right? And it is a dual chamber case, but it doesn't show the fans here on the bottom. I think maybe they took a page out of Height's book here and they have a basement for it where the fans are hidden. So that's probably what's going on here, but we're gonna find out. 1 terabyte NVMe Gen 4 Skytech, even though I know what a good deal this is, it could have been a 2 terabyte. I'm telling you, if it's over $2,000, it should be 2 terabytes. That's gonna be my own personal bar that you guys need to reach. 1000 watt gold ATX 3.0 power supply. So this is gonna have the native ATX 3.0 connector, 12V PWR connector. The case is the Prism 3 in white. Plus, by the way, this thing actually takes the 13900K very seriously by giving it a 420 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler. Look at that. 10 fans are included. So yeah, it must have fans in the basement there. That's kind of cool. Then we got this here. We're gonna put in, we're gonna proceed to checkout. We're already getting a discount from $3140 down to $2,800. There you go, $84 off. That's not too bad, not too shabby. Makes it $27.15 and 99 cents for a 13900K 4080 system. There you have it. There you go. All right, guys. I would say that's a lot of systems I just went over. The good thing is, with it being divided up by price, I think you'll agree that that's going to help narrow it down for you. One of the first things you got to figure out when you're going to be getting yourself a PC is, what is my budget? And don't give yourself a flexible budget. Well, between this and that, figure out your maximum budget. You don't want to, and I'm not saying get more money from magic, out of nowhere. No, like, don't sell yourself short on something you're going to be using for years to come. Okay? Though you just should keep in mind, you're going to want a good high refresh rate monitor to enjoy it, maybe a nice keyboard and mouse. This comes with a keyboard and mouse to get you started though. Part of my job is to help you understand how to figure out what's right for you and how to find it once you figure that out. Now, when TwitchCon comes around, I'm probably going to miss an episode there, but I have to tell you guys something really important here. I failed at something that was very important. I failed at a bunch of stuff this year. There was a lot going on. And I own that. Like, that's on me. But what something I really failed at was after LTX. I got some of the most amazing interviews ever. Not long ones, but just good interviews, okay? We're talking Pedro of PCMR, Jay's 2 Cents, Paul of Paul's Hardware, ePostVox, one of my favorite dudes on the internet right there. Scattervolt, Danny, Nerd on a Budget. Just some really, really great interviews. And all the LTX drama happened. I didn't post this stuff immediately because I had to go to QuakeCon, so I was like, oh, I can't post this. Like putting a target on my back right now, any LTX content. Like posting it right before, whatever. You didn't know it was gonna happen. But posting it afterwards and saying you don't care about any of that stuff, not a good idea. So instead I posted what I felt about everything and I was like, let me move on with this content. And then just time flew by. So I'm not gonna have wasted the time of the people who gave me their time, who are like my personal heroes. I'm not gonna have disrespect them like that. I am gonna be releasing these, okay? And it's pretty much gonna be Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing one every couple of days, and each one will start with a little blurb about what I just said, why I didn't release it sooner, and a little intro to who I'm interviewing and why. Dude, I got an interview, like Dr. Ian Cutress took like 30, 45 minutes out of his day after the whole event was over. It'd been over for a couple of days to just set up an interview with me. That dude is like, he's high level stuff, man. Like when it comes to where he works in the industry. I asked Jay's 2 cents what he thinks about pre-builts. Do you want to know what he said? You should. Paul, what does Paul think about pre-builts? I'm telling you guys, these are amazing interviews. I'm not going to let it go to waste. It's going to be awkward to upload them now, but I don't care. I respect these people too much. And you could see in some of them, I'm a little starstruck. I was a little blabbery with Paul because I didn't get to hang out with him like beforehand, like I did with Jay. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys will all watch them. Please let me know what you think when they come out. And please, I mean, heck, share them around because my interviews don't always get a lot of views, but hopefully people want to know what these guys think about the pre-built industry because they're such proponents of DIY. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Sorry this video is so long. Mostly I'm apologizing to Cuddles because it's like a 2-hour and 20-minute recording. But guys, let me at least get you in the comments saying thank you to Cuddles for all the work he puts into this. Thank you, my friend. And I am very appreciative of you for watching. Thank you so much. I will see you guys on Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, to unbox that Phynix PC system. I hope you'll check it out with me. And until then, take care.